Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today's reading is for the sign of Libra. I've laid out a spread, so let's go straight to the bottom of the deck. Ooh, we have you in your best element, Libra, which is great. Queen of Swords. Swords is air signs, and that's you. What's interesting here, though, and you probably can't see it yet, the outcome is the King of Swords. So this reading's for the next 4 to 6 weeks, and we could find that there is a real meeting of minds is what I really want to say here. It feels like you could be meeting your other half if you're single. Possibly you're going through something legal, but if that's the case, then I think it's feeling quite positive because these are both cards are in your element. So whether you're a feminine or a masculine Libra, I think this is good news, because if you're a feminine, you're already in your best energy, and if you're a masculine, you'll be coming into your best energy within the next 4 to 6 weeks. So we'll put him back where he belongs at the outcome. I might just see what was behind that. Yeah, so we've got the 8 of Pentacles to go with it. You're in your best energy, or you're soon coming into your best energy, because you have been, well, I want to say you've been working hard. It could be on yourself, but I suspect it's more likely working on your wealth. You've been working on your wealth, or you've just been working hard, I think, to gather some wealth together, probably. The 8 of Pentacles is the card of working alone, though. I'm getting the feeling that perhaps some of you are a little bit lonely in the business of being alone. The problem here is you're an air sign and you can get caught up in your own head, really, basically, is what can happen. Particularly if you're in your best energy, your thoughts might have been taking over actual interactions with people, because this is the card of working alone. So you're in your best energy, and I think if you have been feeling a bit lonely, or if you've been spending too much time alone, I think that's going to change. So a positive start, I would say, very positive start. And we go to the centre and it's even more positive. We have the 6 of Wands. This is the card of victory. Success after a battle, to be really specific. And it's also 6 weeks. So this fits our time frame perfectly. You should be feeling victorious. I don't think you are yet. I think you will be. You're not feeling victorious yet because something is weighing you down. This is sometimes called the wounded warrior. It could be that you've been battling illness, fatigue, lack of motivation, lack of energy, well, lack of desire in a way as well. It feels like you are depleted, perhaps. And that element of depletion is preventing you from feeling the good things that the card of victory can bring. But don't despair, that is changing. I'm going to get a clarifier for why we have the 9 of Wands crossing the 6 of Wands at the centre. To me, it feels like you are reaching some sort of turning point in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Something is going to become clearer to you. Wow. Oh. And as I was just saying, you're reaching a turning point. Things are going to become clearer. Your wishes are coming true. There is a part of me that wants to say be careful what you wish for here, because of the 9 of Wands. These two cards together, to be perfectly honest, you would struggle to find a more winning combination than the 6 of Wands and the Star. So whatever it is you've been wishing for, you can gain victory in, and you can get what you want. The only problem here is this lack of energy, lack of desire, lack of drive, lack of even focus. It's possible that whilst being in your best energy and working alone, you may well have retreated into some sort of, well, I want to say fantasy land, really, perhaps. You might be resorting to fantasy rather than reality. And I did say that in another reading recently. I think it might have been the weekly reading, that there was an element of fantasy going on. But in any case, If you've been living in some sort of fantasy because things have not been great, then it doesn't matter, because things are getting great, and they're going to be getting great very soon. If you feel like you cannot see the way forward to the good things in life, then that is changing. I think you have to be a bit optimistic here. I think you have to carry an element of hope with you that you can actually reach the position of victory and having your wishes come true. You can. I think a lot of you are feeling quite ground down in a way, I suppose. But the realities of life that are making you feel ground down is only one part of life. There is another part of life which is going to uplift you hugely and get you what you want. So it's just a case of allowing the good things to flow in. I think perhaps you might have been finding that quite difficult. I think some of you have been ill. I think some of you are battling on with maybe it's lack of direction, certainly lack of energy. But as I say, that's changing. The Star and the Nine of Wands are very, very opposing energies. So something is shifting in the next 4 to 6 weeks. You're either going to start recovering from whatever has been keeping you feeling depleted, or your wishes are going to start coming true, and that will help pull you out of this sort of negative energy that you're currently in. So either way, great news. On the face of things, you've been planning, or you should be planning. Now this feels a little bit like, whilst you've been working on your own, you should have been putting some plans in place. Have you been doing that? Well, if you are thoroughly depleted, as it feels like, I suspect the answer to that is no. So in an obvious sort of way, plans need to be put in place. I think, the Three of Pentacles is diligent hard work. In fact, both these cards are diligent hard work. So your desire to work hard is not gone, but your ability to make plans that are going to aid your future and propel you to where you want to go have felt extremely difficult to map out, it seems like to me. And I think that is down to the fact that you have been struggling with energy or enthusiasm. This is also the 3-year card. So it could be that for the last 3 years, or coming up to, maybe you're in the 3rd year of feeling like this, that although you're working hard and you're earning a decent amount of money, it feels like you can't step further along the way to getting what you want, whether that be a better job, a better home, a better place to live, changing countries, it could be changing careers, could be anything. But it feels like you've been trying to work hard to propel yourself forward, but you're being held back. You've been being held back by your own lack of desire and drive, and not knowing what to do is what it really feels like. You're not sure what you should be doing to move yourself forward, and the whole business is feeling quite exhausting. I think for some people, perhaps you have an idea of how you'd like to live way off in the back of your head, but you don't allow yourself to think about it because you're not sure how to put that plan in action, is what it feels like. Well, in the next 4 to 6 weeks, I'll just remind you that you have these 2 extremely powerful positive cards working for you. You can be victorious to get where you want to go. You can achieve the things you want to achieve. Your wishes can come true. So you have to keep the faith this month or for the next 6 weeks, because something is going to shift a lot. If you've been struggling to make plans to move yourself into a better area of life, that is going to change. I know that for sure, because at the outcome we have death, which is a huge change. But that's jumping the gun. So let's just carry on in the normal way for now. In the underneath position, we have the Queen of Pentacles. This is the card of knowing your own worth. And it sort of ties in quite nicely with this card of diligent hard work. You know what you're worth, you know what you want, but you're not really sure how to achieve it. And so this is in the hidden position. And the 2 cards that I've got to go with it are the Four of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. Now, a moment ago, I just said you know what you're worth. I suspect it is entirely likely, because the Queen of Pentacles is in the hidden position, that some of you do not know your own worth yet. Maybe you do in an obvious way, but in areas of your life that you want to improve, I don't think you can see your worth. So if your personal life is fine, but your career is not, you're not really getting what you deserve in your career, for example. You're not getting the promotions. Perhaps you don't think you deserve them. You're not good enough. It's that sort of feeling. And if your career is fine, then perhaps your personal life is not fine. You're not able to find a partner, for example, because you allow yourself to be treated badly. So there is an area of your life where you need to actually recognize what you are truly worth and what you do deserve. The problem is that you can't see it. It's like whatever is being offered to you isn't good enough. And this feels like it's been going on, as I said before, for 3 years. We now have the 2-year cards. So we've got between 2 and 3 years you have been in a cycle where what you should be achieving, you're not able to achieve because you can't plan it, because you're not sure that what you want, and you're not sure how to achieve it. But alongside that, you're not sure you deserve it or you're worth it in some strange way, which is completely untrue. I mean, that feeling like you don't deserve it or you're not worth it needs to be eliminated. That needs to go. How are your wishes going to come true? How are you going to be victorious if you don't know what you deserve, if you don't know what you're worth, and if you don't think you can achieve what you want to? There is quite a negative feeling here. You have got to shift the negative feeling in order to bring this wonderful change in where you can get what you want and be victorious. So there has been some negative thinking going on, I believe, that has been holding you back for the last 2 or 3 years. And it is partly to do with you not recognising your own worth, and it's partly to do with you not recognising the way to proceed forward. Your ability to plan seems to have evaporated. Now, I know Libras don't find it easy to make a decision, but you are clear thinking, so you should be able to put a plan in action. It just feels like you've lost that ability somehow over the last 2 to 3 years. But don't forget, you're either in your best energy if you're a feminine, and you are coming into your best energy if you're a masculine. So there needs to be a much more positive upshift in your perception of yourself and how you want to live your life and where you want to go and what you want to do. You need to bring in a really much more positive mind shift. And that's either going to be because you're going to start feeling better, that's naturally going to shift, or the positive mind shift is going to make you feel better and you'll come out of this 9 of Wands wounded warrior energy. So a bit of positive thinking is going to go a long way in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Harness the power that you can achieve what you want. You can live the way you want to live. I can't help feeling like I've said this before in a Libra reading. There is something here fundamentally to do with you wanting to live the way that you want to live. Wanting to live the life you want and not being able to live the life you want currently. And that is something that has been going round and round and round and round in your head, I think, in like a perpetual loop for the last 2 to 3 years. Okay, well, hopefully that's going to change. In the past, we had the Wheel of Fortune. So you had the ability in the past to make positive changes. Why is that in the past? Because in an ideal world, we'd want that in the future. Okay, well, to me, it feels like you were too slow to harness the positive energy in the past. I think perhaps maybe there was a window of opportunity where you could have made a slightly different life for yourself. Maybe you were living in a different place and you could have made the change. Maybe you didn't apply for a job that you could have got. It's that sort of thing. It's like you've been given a chance in the past and you were too slow to take it. Now, hopefully that chance is going to come again. If that's the case, you must really grab it with both hands this time and propel yourself forward. Great news. I think that is what's going to happen, because in the future position, we have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is the sword of clarity. 'Tis the sword of victory. 'Tis the sword of truth. Now, just to remind you, we've already got victory and we've already got wishes coming true. So in the future, you've got everything lining up to get you to where you want to be, to give you the life that you want, so that you can actually fulfill some of the dreams, wishes and desires that you have been secretly having, because these do not feel like dreams, desires and wishes that you're telling other people about. This is stuff in the back of your head that you're thinking, oh, I really wish I could do that, but there's no way I can do it. I don't know how. Well, you've got 3 very positive cards, and it feels like in the future position, you're going to be gifted the ability to see things clearly. So clarity is a huge gift. The aces are divinely presented. This is your gift. Your gift in the next 4 to 6 weeks is the ability to see things more clearly, to be able to make plans, to be able to see how you can achieve everything you want. You will be able to see it. And I think that's really important, because I think for Libras and other air signs as well, I think it is quite difficult to see things clearly. I think you get caught up in the thinking. And I believe in the future it is less about the thinking, more about the seeing and the achieving. So I think that's a great place to find it. Let's get a clarifier for the Ace of Swords to see if it's clarifying anything in specifically. Well, we've got 4 cards have fallen out here. I think that's too many, really. But seeing as they've all fallen out, I'm going to read them. We've got the 8 of Wands. This is fast-flowing communication, good news, free-flowing messages. Yeah, really good news. It's also 8 weeks, so this could be for the next couple of months. We have Temperance. This is the angel of balance. There are 3 angels in the deck, and this one talks about trying to keep in balance. And as a Libra, that's really important for you. We have the Queen of Cups, the most loving energy there is. Possibly there is a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Feminine who's going to assist you. If you're a masculine watching, maybe you're going to come into connection with Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Feminine. And there is a love letter or an apology coming. Wow. Wowie, wow, wow. And those 2 cards feel like they go together. So it could be that there is a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Feminine coming in who is going to either give you a love letter of some sort, or possibly somebody you know from your past who's coming in with an apology. The desire and the need to be balanced is really important. And there are messages coming in, true messages that sort of feels like true desire is what I want to say. So this could be to do with work, life, love, any of that. The true desire. This can be Cupid's arrows. Feels like you might be coming into connection with somebody. You are a masculine watching and you've had a connection with a feminine in the past, and she was a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Feminine. There could be a reconnection coming. If that's not the case, then it could be somebody new coming in. In any case, this is guided. You're being guided towards a connection here, guided towards positive communication. So we have the Ace of Swords and we have the Angel here. These are both divinely presented. So somebody is strongly looking down and trying to guide you into a positive energy, possibly in connection with a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Wow. That's brilliant if that's the case, especially if you've been single for a while. We've actually got all 4 queens out. So if you are a masculine watching, there are feminines around for sure. In the personal position, we have the 3 of Cups. This is joy and happiness. The next 4 to 6 weeks, you are going to feel joy and happiness. You are going to experience victory. You are going to have your wishes coming true. I don't think we need to clarify that. You should be feeling happy, and you will be. In the home position, we have the Queen of Wands. So you could be living with an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or it could be that you want to take a more creative, dynamic approach to finding a place to live or deciding how to live. If you're a masculine watching, this is our fourth Queen. And I honestly think that you have got quite a lot of possibilities for the next 4 to 6 weeks if you're a single masculine. There's a lot of feminines here who can see the qualities that you possess. Actually, I should have said before as well that the star is Aquarius. So you could be coming into connection with an Aquarius as well. In the hopes and fears position, we have hoping for good news. Well, we've already got the possibility of a love letter or an apology. And we also have Cupid's arrows. Plus we have the Sword of Truth. So whatever it is that you want good news about, it feels like it's definitely coming. So hoping for good news, and good news is coming in. What are you fearing? Well, there's nothing there, is there? Perhaps you're actually losing the fear this month. I mean, I suppose if you're single and you're not in connection with anybody, perhaps that is not a fear anymore. It feels like in the past you weren't pleased with what was on offer. That is changing. If this is to do with hoping for a better life or a better career or whatever, something like that, then that's also changing, because at the outcome we have death, which is an inevitable change. It's going to sweep on through. It's sort of regardless of what you do. However, there is a caveat with that, because if you remember at the start, I was saying that you haven't had the desire or the drive or the energy or the enthusiasm to make the changes you need. You need to lift up your energy into a more positive vibration, and then a big sweeping change is coming in. And you will be coming into your best energy, particularly if you're a masculine. If you're a feminine, you should already be in your best energy. This is partnership at the outcome. So I was just saying a moment ago that it could be an Aquarius. Also, it could be a Scorpio, because death is Scorpio. So I think what I'm going to do now is just see if there's any more that we need to know. This is great. This is really positive. You're being given the opportunity to make the changes you want. Things are shifting forward. Wow, King of Cups. Okay. So if you are a masculine and you're not being sure about how to progress your life forward, feeling a little bit isolated perhaps, and a bit confused, actually not really being able to see your way forward, then you're coming into your best energy, and it's going to make a huge change. There's going to be an emotional uplift, I think, because we have another pairing here. So we now have the King and Queen of Cups. That's a loving pair. We already have the King and Queen of Swords. We have the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles as well. It's another pair. Is there anything else we need to know? This feels like there's going to be some sort of love pairing going on. If you've been feeling like everything has been terrible, you haven't got the life you want, you haven't got the money you want, you haven't got the resources you want, you haven't got the love that you want, you haven't got the house that you want, you're not living in the place that you want to, you haven't had anything good going on, is what it feels like. There is a monumental, massive change coming. That is a feeling that is not true. So in a way, feeling like you've got nothing that you want is keeping you stuck. So it's like the stick, you're beating yourself up with your own stick here. So there's a huge incentive in the next 4 to 6 weeks to be more positive. And at the bottom of the deck now, we have the Page of Swords. This is texting, emailing, phoning. This is electronic communication. It could be dating websites, whatever. You've got a lot of cards of communication here. We've got the Page of Swords, we've got the Page of Cups, we've got the Page of Wands, and we've got Cupid's arrows and free-flowing communication. You've got the sword of victory. You've got victory itself. You've got wishes coming true. You've got a huge change sweeping in. But you have got to help yourself in the next 4 to 6 weeks and remove this energy of the wounded warrior. You need to be able to start making plans and to harness the positive energy that you have around you. Don't miss your chance. Everything is going to be fine. You're going to be happy. And there are many, many partnership possibilities if that's what you're looking for. Wow. Could also be a Capricorn and Sagittarius. You've got a lot going for you currently. Even if it doesn't feel like it, it is changing hugely in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And I'm so happy for you. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please like and subscribe so that I can read your energy more easily, which will help me to do more accurate readings for you and your situation in the future. And if you would like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. But until the next time, this has been the Timeless Tarot. Goodbye.